Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lesbian and Gay Liberation Front's Pre-Valentines Day event. We realize that it's not until tomorrow, but we're celebrating early. And I know a lot of people are watching the Super Bowl right now, and that's okay. That's why we're putting this on YouTube so everyone can watch it when they can. But we've got a lot of really great stuff for you today. So I just want to start by introducing us. My name is Curtis Tripp. I'm the Executive Director at the Lesbian and Gay Liberation Front. With us we have board members Feisty and Donovan. So say hi everyone, Happy Valentine's Day.
Hi. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
This is, Valentine's Day, I think, is a really important day for gay people. Like, all like the capitalism and the marketing aside, marking a day of love is especially important for homosexuals, for gay men and lesbians, because it's something that we've had to fight extra hard for. It's something that we've had to fight for a long time for in order to normalize our love, to legalize our love, and our marriage rights and equality. And that's what we want to focus on today and talk about today. So we're going to run through our gay rights history section. It's just a quick look at U.S. gay rights history. This is available on our website, lglf.org. It's under the resources section right here at Gay Rights History. Now, obviously, gay rights didn't really start with Stonewall, but this was definitely a very pivotal moment in gay rights, and I think it's a great place to pick up. I feel like that's where the trajectory really kind of hit like a high momentum. So we talk about Stonewall, the original gay liberation front, and not just in the U.S. Remember that the U.K. loved ours so much that they made one too. And then we talk about the first gay pride parade, which of course wasn't called a pride parade back then, but this is what would become what we know today as gay pride parades on Christopher Street. Yes, and we, don't forget everyone, we are returning to Stonewall this September. We are going back to Christopher Street, and we are reclaiming the rainbow and pride. So don't forget that. And speaking of not forgetting, how can we forget our lesbian love sister, or our lesbian blood sisters, and our love sisters, because it's Valentine's Day.
Rainbow.
Yes, we are taking back the rainbow. And we are thanking our lesbian blood sisters for how they helped us in the AIDS crisis. And finally, we are reaching the moment we really want to talk about, marriage equality. And it's something that Feisty here actually helped with fighting for. She was, one of the first couples to get her marriage license with her wife. And we want to talk about that today because that's such an important moment in history, and we love lesbian love. So Feisty, why don't you go ahead and take over and let us know your lesbian love story.
Okay, my name is Feisty Amazon, and I do have many other names. I've been out since February 1981, so this is kind of my anniversary of my coming out, so it's been 41 years out as a dyke. And I lived in Colorado for 3 years, but it was just too small for me, so I hit San Francisco in January of 1984 after a stint on Women's Land for a month, but it was very isolated up in Oregon. And I went through, a series of relationships and fun, all kinds of wild things in San Francisco that a lesbian can do with other lesbians. And we had quite a strong community back then, both in San Francisco and the East Bay. We had women's bookstores, we had clubs, we had bars, we had, dances, we had the women's building. Pretty much the gay guys had like the Castro and all that, but we had the Mission, and we had all kinds of things we could do, and all kinds of lesbian businesses. But bit by bit, from recession to changes in the community, we began to lose that. So, having been a wild thing, I went through a major breakup around 2001. And I went to Michigan Women's Music Festival, and I went to another festival to kind of get over it. And meantime, I had a friend of mine introduce my current partner to me on gay.com, and there was all kinds of affairs that would come and go on gay.com. But she kept saying, she's your type, she's your type. And so we weren't ready to get together yet because she had got involved with somebody else, but there was a little bit of interest over the summer, and I kept flirting with her. And then finally, I was going to go back to Colorado, and she broke up with this woman and came available, and it was kind of lust at first sight. And
you're such a Casanova. I love it.
Well, we had become friends online and over the phone through the summer for 6 months. So we had established somewhat of a friendship relationship. But yeah, I kind of really wanted her. And, it was just going to be a fling because I was going to be there just a week. And it ended up being a whole lot more than that because, we had a lot of commonalities. And so she's like, well, can I come back with you? And I said, look, I got to think about that. So I spent one more week in Colorado, and then she ended up coming back with me. And I'm not the type to do the whole thing, but it was also a really good opportunity, and we really clicked on a lot of levels. And so she stayed with me for a few months and went back to Colorado to get her stuff. And she was like, nope, I can't wait. She sold it all and came back. And we've been together ever since for 20 years. So we celebrated our 20 years our 20 years together in October. October 12th is when we met, 2001. Well, fast forward, one day I went to my karate workout where she came with me, and we went out to breakfast. And this actually straight couple we're talking about in the news. In the newspaper, they were talking, they're marrying. They're marrying over in San Francisco. Lesbians and gays are marrying over in San Francisco. And we were like, really? And, and he showed me the article, and I was like, wow. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and it was like, well, what do you think? And she's like, well, I'm from Nebraska, so we marry. And she says, I'm all for it. And we'd only been together 2.5 years. We had a domestic partnership, but nothing like that. I was always kind of against gay marriage. I just wasn't like the type, like tie me down, but because of certain health issues, there are rights that married couples have that, you just don't have through a domestic partnership. Like 1,000 legal rights you have through marriage. The domestic partnership will not even get close. You have to have a lot of legal paperwork and stuff. So, but it was more like for love. And she was like, okay, so we went home. We got everything together. They were all in line. It was raining. Some of them had stayed overnight. So we had this whole thing, with this whole rolling cart of stuff in case we had to stay overnight. And I said, get out of the car. And the line was wrapped around the block of City Hall in San Francisco. And she got out the car while I went and parked it. By the time I came back, they stopped people from coming into the line. And we just happened to still be in line. And we waited first like 4 hours to get to the front of the line. And the first thing they did was, they write our names down and everything, and they give us the actual marriage certificate. And then you take that certificate to go get married in a ceremony. And there was this woman, this lesbian, she came up to us, and she had a little leather shirt jacket on, and she flapped it at me, and she says, I want to marry you. And I said, of course I want a lesbian marrying me. And so she married us. And I knew her from one community, and then we had a witness, and they had this all prepared. They had all the lesbian gays who worked in San Francisco for the city of San Francisco trained as marriage commissioners. So they had assigned marriage commissioners for us, And she chose us. And then another woman I knew through two other communities I was involved with, another lesbian, she was our witness. And we took a place in the rotunda of the city hall. And, you know, she did the ceremony for us. And it was really quite meaningful because I never thought those words applied to us as lesbians. I never thought we would see the days where those actual marriage vows would apply to us. And so we were married in 2004, that first week of love, the winter of love. And 2,000 couples were married that week, 800 on our day. And at the end of the week, they had a reception for 2,000 of us at the Hyatt Regency. And they had the gay and lesbian chorus and the gay chorus, the Montclair Women's Club, all the musical talent. And everybody dressed up and gussied up, and it was just everything was done on the fly, because we were afraid, you know, that Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor, that he would shut it all down, and the right wing would come, and it would just get ugly and weird, and they'd stop the marriages. Well, that kept going for like a month, and then they did shut it down, and then our marriages were quote unquote legal for 6 months until it worked its way up to the California Supreme Court, and they annulled all of our marriages. And that was a very sad day. I was at work and I worked construction, and I was out, but I just didn't know who I could tell that I felt comfortable telling that. So I told this guy on the elevator, who was an elevator man, he and I were friendly. He was says, God damn it, those right wingers, and he cussed a bit for me, and he really was on my side, but I was really, really, really depressed. But that set the precedent to start working it up through a bunch of different lawyers, both in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, and work its way up to the California Supreme Court. So then in 2008, we were permitted to marry by the California Supreme Court. They decided we could marry. It was a very happy pride. There was all kinds of gay marriages going on. And we kept thinking, could we do this and we could do that? But that's also the time of reception. We were really too broke to do any kind of marriage. So 2 weeks before the election, and I worked really hard on stopping Prop 8, which was to stop same-sex marriage. I went once a week through the Democratic campaign to phone call to stop Prop 8. We did some actions and things like that. And I said to my partner, we're getting married. I don't care if we're starving to death. We're going down to City Hall or wherever it takes us. So we went to the Oakland County Recorder's office in Oakland, and we got married there. So I consider the marriage in 2004 a marriage in community, because it truly was in community, and the community really came out for it. And I consider the 2008 marriage, which was just me and her and two friends of ours as witnesses, and the marriage commissioner. I consider that a shotgun wedding before the election. And unfortunately, Prop 8 did pass. And so therefore they stopped the same-sex marriage, and 18,000 couples, 18,000 lesbian gay couples were able to marry in that time frame. So it went back to the courts and fought back and forth. And one of the courts decided, because we had done it within that proper time frame from the California Supreme Court, all of us that were married in 2008 got to keep our marriages. But unfortunately, nobody else in California was nobody else in a same-sex relationship, a lesbian-gay relationship, were allowed to marry. So then fast forward to 2013, it made its way back up to the California Supreme Court. And so marriage equality was allowed June 2013, which was another very happy pride. And we worked hard for marriage equality, and we were there, in the booth and all of that. But unfortunately, the recession had done its number on us, and we could no longer afford to live in California. So rather than face homelessness, we decided to come back to Nebraska, where her mother lived. And she put us up for about 3 months. And we've been living here ever since because it really is so much more affordable than California. And so what happened in 2013, we went from our marriage being legal to all of a sudden we were in limbo again. It wasn't legal by the law of the land, and Nebraska did not recognize same-sex marriage. So we had two guys, Stuart Gaffney and John Lewis, who are lawyers from Marriage Equality USA, give us a call and ask us if we wanted to be on the front of the Supreme Court brief, the United States Supreme Court, a front of the court brief for Marriage Equality USA, because we were a special case, since we were legally married, and actually married twice, but legally married as far as the state is concerned, in California, and now our marriage was in limbo. And so we told our story, and they wrote it up in that front of the court brief. And then, as you know, in 2015, with Oberfield, it was made the law of the land. So I was able to be put on her insurance, and we were pretty pissed. And we're out loud and proud. And even in Nebraska, I said, look, I'm not going, even though this is rural Nebraska, I am not going back in the closet for anybody. And she would tell, like, store clerks and Walmart, God damn it, I'm married. I'm mad. My marriage is no longer legal in this state. But her family accepts us, and we're very much part of the family. And her family and my family have met, and we really are well supported by the family. But unfortunately, there's not much as far as lesbian community out here, which is really, really hard. And so that's been a real frustration for us. It's kind of like we're a couple alone, and there's little prides and such, but there's not really much organized. I mean, there's drag shows and things like that, but that's just about it. So going from a place where there was lots of different types of communities for lesbians and gays and others to very little, it's really hard. But we refuse to go back in the closet. So we're here setting an example. And as a married couple, we're like, well, God damn it, we're married. We want to be treated like anybody else. And we're not going to shut up about it. And that's who we are. And we're both employed in the security field. We're both out loud and proud.
Well, that's what we love to hear. And I hope you continue to stay out and proud. And I really just want to thank you for joining this fight, this next fight for gay rights. Also, I just want to point out, you were talking about lesbian community, and I know how important that is, especially with how quick, they've been being lost. And I think you mentioned that you had a poem about lesbian community that you wanted to read, right? We would love to hear that.
Yes, I do. Whether it's lesbian community or lack thereof, looking for other butches, because we are butch on butch. Which is its own little minority, but I have a poem I can read, which I wrote my first couple years, within my first couple years of coming here. So let me get to that real quick. Here we are. Sorry about that. It's called Where Are You, Sister? I look for you everywhere I go, on the job, in the grocery store, at the hardware store, in the factory, at the restaurant. Here you are, rare and elusive. I have one at home, but we are two alone. We have no community, but still I hunt and search for you, elusive breed and sister of mine, in your dykely sensibilities like me. The way you carry yourself, the way you take up your space, your sensual butch being. We shop in the men's department. We like big watches, our hair short, boots and sensible shoes close to the ground. I think I see you, but find you are with a man carrying a purse. No, an imitation. Disappointed. I recalibrate. These country women look like you, but are not you. In my isolation, I begin to mourn. I have my mate, but no companions. We are drowning in a sea of conservative heteros. Others name themselves differently, flattening their breasts, hiding their plumage, imitating males, but not you. That female juxtaposition, that rare breed of Amazon holding her ground, her strong female gaze, who breaks into new territory as a female. My butch sisters, everywhere I hunt for you. I spy one in a Target, two at a small pride event, calling themselves by male names. But are they you? Away they hear the siren song of hormones and surgeries to pass as male, leaving our tribe in the dust. My love for Butch Dykes is my love for myself, and loving another. Well, one cannot love what one cannot see, forever an anomaly. It is your strong gaze, your powerful stance, the full embodiment of Dyke unashamedly. Some camouflage themselves for a moment as men for safety in the world, for those who cannot see who she truly is. Once in the safety of her tribe, she reveals herself fully as Butch Amazon female, taking up her full space. Where are you, my sister? Are these territories too hostile for you? You who break through every barrier men erect, daring to pass through them, claiming new territory for yourself, you who dare, it is your strength and defiance I love, hearkening back to our tribe of strong, defiant women who love women, the Amazons of all time.
That was beautiful, Feisty. And I got to tell you, I love the references, and because like that's like your nickname is like the Amazon. Like I love the references to like Amazon women. I think that's so awesome. I love how that's like a theme in like you being a butch lesbian, and I can't get enough of it. Thank you so much for that beautiful poem, and thank you so much for sharing your wonderful story with us. And so, thank you everyone else for joining us. So, the way we're going to close it out is we actually made a beautiful slideshow of Feisty and her wife. It's got a bunch of pictures of them. There's like pictures of Feisty like protesting Prop 8 and stuff. It really is cute. It's got like cute music and everything. So, we're going to go ahead and close out with that. And please look out for the Stonewall event coming up in September. Make sure to check out our website, check out the Gay Rights History section. We also have our Gay Heroes and Sheroes section. And we also have our Gay Truths and Straight Lies section, which answers like a lot of, important things regarding what we see as the next fight for gay rights. So please do check all of that out. And I just want to thank you all for joining us again. Thank you, Feisty. Thank you, Donovan. And please, everyone, have a happy Valentine's Day from LGLF.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.
Bye, everyone.
Mhm.